Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Level Up. My name is Rick, and today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite games from 2014. Now, I don't have a very big list, but I do have a few games that I feel like you definitely need to check out if you haven't already gotten to check out that were printed last year. At the top of that list is a game that I am just completely blown away with. And it actually knocked a couple other games out of my favorite position for the year. And that game is from Days of Wonder, and it's called Five Tribes. Essentially, it's a worker displacement game where we're having to remove elders and remove these meeples from the board. And when we do that, we'll be able to score points, manipulate the game board, cash in and buy different things, and potentially even kill other players' meeples. It's really cool. It has a very unique theme, and it's I think hands down my favorite Days of Wonder game that there is, and it's probably my favorite game from last year. So if you haven't already checked out Five Tribes, that game is a must-buy. Definitely check it out. I think you guys will really enjoy it. If you like playing worker placement games, it is a great game for you. If you like really good two-player games, it is another great game. It plays up to 4. It plays just as well with 3 and 4, at 3 and 4, but I think its really sweet spot is at 2 players. There's just so much strategy involved, and just the fact that you can bid on the turn order and everything is really interesting, and to try to maximize what you can do throughout the turn, not just on your turn. Or not just when you get to play type thing. So it is a game. It is a game where it can be slowed down by people really considering what to do whenever they play. So it can be very thinky. I think if you're not into one of those types of games, that may be a bit of a negative for you. But I would still try to give it a shot. Head over to your friendly local game store, see if they have any demos of Five Tribes going, because definitely one that you should check out. The next game we're going to talk about is Sheriff of Nottingham. Now, these are from our friends at Arcane Wonders, and it is the first line, or rather the first game in their Dice Towers Essentials line. Now, what is the Dice Towers Essentials line? It's basically a way for them to separate themselves a bit from the Mage Wars idea. Now, they're still primarily focused on developing Mage Wars games. However, the Dice Towers Essentials lineup allows them to purchase other games without a sort of branding confusion, and that way people won't immediately try to assume that it is a supplement for Mage Wars. Although it'd be cool to see how the Sheriff would do within the arena. There's some ideas, guys. Now, the Dice Towers Essentials lineup is essentially games that Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower Network has deemed worthy to buy, and I would take that with a grain of salt. However, I will say that Arcane Wonders is not a company to produce inferior quality games. Everything that these guys touch is absolutely golden to me. Now, I may be a bit biased because I do work with them on the Mage Wars Mondays podcast. However, Sheriff of Nottingham is a really fun deduction, bluffing, bribery game for up to 5 players, and it's just really cool. Essentially, everybody plays merchants trying to bring goods into the city. The sheriff's going to stop each one of those merchants at the gate of the city, and then essentially try to extort some money out of them so they can get through. Now, if the merchants are playing everything by the books, they don't have anything to be worried about. However, you score buku bonus points whenever you bring in contraband, which can be a way for you to either get the win or actually lose a lot of gold if you get stopped by the sheriff. So if you're into really interesting party games that have a lot to do with deduction, bluffing, just outright lying to your friends, let's not even call it bluffing, Sheriff of Nottingham is definitely a game for you. Now, the drawback of Sheriff of Nottingham, you can't play it 2 players very easily, or very well rather, so you need to have at least 3 before you check it out. The next game I'm going to talk about is from Upper Deck. This is the, I think the third game within the Legendary universe. This is called Legendary Encounters. So Marvel, I believe, or rather Upper Deck got the rights to the Marvel games, or rather the ability to create Marvel games, and they did through with the Legendary system, which is a way for you to play as heroes and stop a mastermind from blowing up New York. And what really made Marvel Legendary work is that the game was so modular. You could swap out your heroes, you could swap out the villains, you can swap out your actual objective and what the villain is trying to do through their scheme. It provide a very dynamic game, and with every expansion, Marvel Legendary got better. I think Dark City was huge. I think Paint the Town Red and the Fantastic Four expansion were really good, and I just got the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion. Haven't had a chance to play it yet though. I have not played Marvel Legendary Villains. However, I understand that it is pretty fun and allows you to play as the bad guy, so that's always neat. The game I'm going to be talking about is actually Legendary Encounters. Now, what's really unique about this is that the cards from each set can be substituted with each other. Legendary Encounters takes place in Ridley Scott's Alien universe. And if you don't know what Alien is, it is a fantastic sci-fi horror movie made in 1979, I believe. Again, directed by Ridley Scott, it stars Sigourney Weaver, and it has to deal with crazy mutant aliens in outer space who are the perfect killing machines and are basically the height of evolution within the Empire, or rather within all of the galaxy. And so we find one of those basically, and it ends up killing everybody on the ship. Spoiler alert. Alien, fantastic movie. What I really like about this game is the way that they have just perfectly absorbed the theme of Alien with just a few tweaks to the original Legendary system. One of the big main tweaks, in fact, one of the largest tweaks in the game mechanically, is in normal Legendary. When a villain would come out to the city, they'd come out face up, and you'd know that Green Goblin just flew into the city and he's captured a bystander. However, all of the ships that we're going to be on, or the different complexes that we're going to be in, the cards come into the complex face down, so we don't know what each of those cards are. That provides a few mechanical things that I think are very neat. One, it allows us to do a reveal mechanic. So once I have to pay the amount of money, or rather the strike, that it would cost to flip that card over, or scan it as they're going to call it in the game, that card would pop up. It may be something good for us. It may be a piece of the objective that we need to complete. It may be a chest-bursting alien that's going to rip our faces off. So we never really know what we're going to get. That adds a huge element to the game and puts a real definite layer of suspense that is missing, I believe, from the Marvel Legendary games. Marvel Legendary is a good deck builder. I think it's a great deck builder. It's one of my favorite deck builders. Legendary Encounters definitely takes its place, I think, anytime I'm going to try to play a deck builder now. It is that good. If you're not a fan of the Alien universe, I still think mechanically it is definitely worth checking out. Now, it's got a mature rating because there are a lot of blood and gore within the cards. There's a lot of things ripping out of people's chests and stomachs, and it gets pretty graphic that way. What's really cool is it expands all of the Alien universes minus the Alien versus Predator stuff. Of course Prometheus, I don't think there's anything in there yet. But you can play scenarios straight from the movies, and even have how to set up the movies in the rulebook, which is really cool. And the first mission, your first tutorial mission, you're actually doing the mission of the Nostromo, and it's just one of those things I think is just really cool and iconic if you're a huge fan of the films like myself. Definitely check out Legendary Encounters by Upper Deck. It is absolutely an excellent deck builder. Now, the final game we're going to talk about before we get into some of basically our wish list is going to be Golem Arcana by Harebrained Schemes. Now, Golem Arcana is a really neat miniatures game that adds a bit of tech to the minis world. Essentially, it has a Bluetooth stylus that's going to read IR dots on certain cards, and you'll be able to control the game that way. And there'll be base boards that you'll be able to modularly set up. Modular boards and miniatures are huge, I think. It's a way for you to essentially add a little bit of oomph every time you play. You can randomize things. So the Golem Arcana base set comes with two complete armies and a ton of different scenarios for you to play. There is an application that you can download on any, on Android, iPhone, and I think that may be it actually. Devices, tablets, or cell phones. Now, the deal is they have to be able to support a certain type of Bluetooth, so check out Harebrained Schemes website before you go and purchase to make sure that your device can support that. It is a really cool game, and what makes it really cool is that you don't have to worry about doing all the math and making sure that your moves are legal. So you can have a Golem Arcana tournament just within your town without having to worry about a sanctioned judge coming in, because the game itself is going to be moderated within the rules and the application, which is absolutely huge for me in miniature combat. Coming from a small play area, there's not a lot of opportunities for me to get into some of these bigger tournaments and play things like X-Wing and play these competitive things that if there's a rules dispute, I don't necessarily have, or I have to have somebody else at a higher level come and dispute that. Golem Arcana is going to handle all of that for us. It's going to make sure that the playing field is even always. The game's miniatures and models are just absolutely fantastic. Harebrained Schemes has done an excellent job. There's a lot of different variations out there as well if you'd like to check them out, but just the base set for Golem Arcana I think is a must-buy for any miniatures player out there. I love these pre-painted miniatures idea and these $40 to $50 base sets. It allows you to get into the miniatures combat without having to just put a bunch of money into it, which for, again, a gamer on a budget like myself is another huge thing. So check out Golem Arcana by Harebrained Schemes. They're the makers of Shadowrun Returns, an absolutely fantastic computer game, and the sequel, or not sequel, but the expanded Dragonfall expansion, which is another really good one. So check those out. Okay, we have a couple other games that haven't officially made our list, but I definitely want to check them out because I'm just dying to play them. The first is going to be Star Wars Imperial Assault by Fantasy Flight Games. This is a game that's kind of like Descent and Mansions of Madness, in that one player is going to control the bad guys, the rest of the players are going to control the good guys, and there will be some sort of objective that you'll either need to stop or complete the other side from doing, or rather stop the other side from doing or complete yourself. And you'll play through a campaign that way. You'll collect treasure and items and equipment and spells and all that cool stuff as the game continues. There's a lot of just really, really, really detailed miniatures. If you haven't already checked out our unboxing video for that, please do. There'll be a link somewhere right here in the corner, and I definitely recommend doing that because it's just really neat and just really cool models. Fantastic stuff. Excuse me, I've still yet to play it, and that's one thing that I wish to rectify very soon, and hopefully I get it on the table very soon. The other game that I'd like to mention is going to be Plaid Hat Games' Dead of Winter. I have heard so many awesome things about this game, but I have yet to play it, and I'm really disappointed that I haven't. In fact, I am dying for that thing to get off the boat so I could buy a copy of it. So Plaid Hat, if you happen to see this, definitely let us know when that game is available because I want a copy so bad. Dead of Winter is I believe the first game in the Crossroads universe, and it's essentially a post-apocalyptic zombie survival game, and the zombies I think are more environmental hazards than anything in this game. We have to actually deal with managing resources at a colony, making sure that our food stocks are up, the morale of the colony is up, that our actual people within the colony are being able to survive and do things that and they're not just gonna die, right? So if our people die in the colony, we lose the game. What makes Dead of Winter unique is that they added an element of a sometimes trader mechanic put in there, and it's random, so sometimes you'll have one, sometimes you won't. The trader, of course, will be working against the colony, trying to undermine them, make sure that the resources deplete, make sure that the missions fail, and make sure that people get bitten by the zombies, because traders are jerks. I don't know what else to say. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Rodney at Watch It Played has got a fantastic how to play video for that, and it is just really neat, really cool, and it's definitely something I think you guys should check out. Alright guys, those are a few games that I thought were really good from 2014. I hope you do as well. I definitely would recommend you guys checking out any of the games I mentioned in this video. If you had a game that you printed in 2014 that I didn't talk about, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't hear about it, maybe I didn't play it, but I definitely would like to. So hit us up at Twitter if you have any questions about our list, if you have any suggestions that you want to, or any considerations you think that we need to make for next year's video, or what you'd like to see on the channel. We are at Let's Level Up on Twitter. All of our social media information can be available at letslevelup.net, our official website. Please super follow us, everything they can. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz. It really means a lot to us. Give us a thumbs up on this video. Most importantly, guys, have a great 2015. This is going to be a huge year from us. We are publishing our first ever board game. And with everything that I've heard so far, I think it's going to be a hit. So follow the channel for more updates on that. And I definitely would like to thank everybody for watching this once again. So thank you guys. Have a great year and game on.